never going to make it to
Hello.
this rate.
Hi.
Are you the person who's been texting me?
Yeah. I'm Helen.
It's nice to meet you. I'm Siren. Or Dr. Gray, or just Siren is fine.
Like your hair.
Oh, thank you. It's not natural.
Fucking Los Santos
Okay.
traffic.
That's fine.
Did you bring me food?
Did.
Perhaps. Okay, you're a lifesaver because, honestly, one of the therapists told me to never go to the food court alone because the odds of me being kidnapped were insanely high.
Super high, yeah.
So I've been avoiding it at all costs. I went once earlier today and I was scared the whole time.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you want to take a seat somewhere?
Oh, yeah. There in Mosley's, I would also be careful. A lot of people get taken from Mosley's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some benches over here under the big tree.
I like this tree. This looks like my crash out tree.
Oh, you have a crash out tree?
Yeah. Sometimes. I have a crying tree and a crash out tree, but they're two completely different trees.
It's good to have options.
Yeah. Well, it depends on if I'm crying or if I'm crashing out.
Right, of course.
We should get together for a chai later. Big love to the light.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. I got shot yesterday, so.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But you're a police officer.
Yeah. I'm a deputy with the BCSO. I've only done therapy once before. I did a session with Jackie Legs a while back, but he's not really around much these days.
I have some like baseline questions that I usually ask during a first session, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So you said my first question is, do you have any experience with therapy? So you've had one session before?
Yeah.
And no experience prior?
No.
Was it a positive experience?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you got what you wanted out of it?
I think so. Yeah, I don't remember why I even went. I just remember I was like feeling pretty overwhelmed with stuff. So I don't know. It was nice to like chat it out with someone.
Okay. My second question is, why are you here?
Been a lot. There's a lot going on. And I guess I've just been having a really hard time like slowing down and processing it.
Okay. A lot in your life, in your job, personally? All of the above?
Well, yeah, kind of all of the above. A lot of job stuff. A lot of like personal stuff that ties into job stuff, I guess.
Okay.
I got like a big case. That happens. Part of it happened yesterday, but the sentencing is whenever the judge gets out of the ICU, because her and I got shot at the end of the court case, and she's not doing too well. And it's like a death penalty case. So.
Mm-hmm. So very intense.
Yeah. I've been working a lot with Pixie. Not like as like her as my therapist, or like
professionally.
Workers. Yeah.
Yeah, she's spoken to me about her involvement with that case.
Mm-hmm.
Very briefly. I don't know any of the details, obviously, but just she said that it's been a very rough case, and obviously death penalty cases are always very stressful for everybody involved.
Yeah.
So I'm not in your shoes, but I can definitely empathize with your position.
Yeah. Pixie offered me therapy, but because I guess someone expressed to her like concern for me, which now that I think about it is actually why I went to therapy last time too. But it just didn't really feel right going to Pixie, I guess, as much as I, trust her and respect her and stuff. Just because a lot of what's stressing me out is related to this case, and like we're both working on it from like different ends, and like I fully believe she could separate and everything, but there's just like some stuff that like would be hard to say to her.
I mean, just because you trust a therapist to separate, professional relationship with patient-doctor relationship doesn't mean that you can necessarily separate those things. Because sometimes once you say something, it's hard to imagine that they could put that to the side when working with you on a professional level, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what would your goal for our talk today be?
I don't know. I don't know how stuff like this goes. I don't know if you just want like to know like what's going on with me, or if you want to, I don't know, focus on something specific. I saw that you're a grief counselor, which I thought was like ideal for the death penalty stuff, kind of. But also, I had a friend die the other night.
Wow.
And,
okay. Really, a lot has been piling on you.
Yeah.
So, kind of the answer that I'm looking for, or I like to know what role you need me to play in the session, because some people come into therapy and they just need to vent it all out. Like they just need to express all of their frustrations, everything that they've got going on in their head, to another living person rather than like writing it in a diary, right? It's helpful to know that there's somebody there actively listening and hearing them.
Yeah.
Sometimes people want feedback and advice. They want me to weigh in on, their thoughts, their feelings. They want to feel validated. They want me to push, but not necessarily like pick them apart, right? And then some people come into therapy who are like, I need you to call me on my bullshit. I need you to keep me accountable. I'm going to say a bunch of shit. Like, please feel free to interrupt me, and not necessarily be like an instigator or an antagonist, but like work with them constructively to kind of take apart what they're doing, why they're doing it.
Right.
And those are all three very different sessions, and there's a million more in between all of those options. I just kind of know what role you want me to play here. Is this a situation where you just need somebody to get all of this out to hear you from like an unbiased perspective? Do you want comfort, feedback, questions? What do you need from me?
I mean, first and foremost, oh, sorry, I just had an awful headache.
No, it's okay.
First and foremost, I need like a lot of trust and discretion, because I can't like talk to a lot of people about like, the stuff that I work on. And some stuff happened yesterday that makes me feel like I can't talk about even more stuff. Like I don't know. I don't really feel like there's anybody I can talk to right now. And obviously I can't talk to anybody outside the PD, but I can't really trust people in the PD right now either.
Well, I can assure you that everything that you say is going to stay between us. I usually do keep notes on sessions, but those are private. Those are nowhere public where they can be accessed. And the only reason I would ever talk about you is if I felt like you could be better helped by somebody else. I might refer you, but I would never transfer information unless you gave me your explicit permission. So I don't want you to worry at all about me airing your shit out. I am relatively new to the city. I don't know a lot of people. I'm not familiar with PD. I'm not familiar with DOJ. I'm not familiar with any of the cases that you're working on. And I honestly think, as far as unbiased opinions go, I'm probably the best bet you're gonna get. Just because I simply just don't know enough. I don't have enough outside knowledge to have opinions otherwise. So I know that we've just met, and all you have is my word, but I take my job very seriously. It is my entire life. So I would never ever betray a patient's trust.
Okay. Okay. Also, like, it might, I don't know, is it gonna get weird? Because I might be helping with Parsons stuff. I've been working with Pixie a lot, and we might end up being coworkers.
It will never be weird with me.
Okay.
And if it feels weird to you, I mean, if you're working with Pixie and Parsons and whatever else, like, I'm happy to keep a sociably unawkward. I don't know if that's the right word for that. Unawkward distance. To give you space and make it feel like you can operate comfortably here.
Yeah, I mean, I would just want us to not really address that you, like, are giving me therapy unless we're, like, in
That's
questions.
perfectly fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 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 Then where do we start?
I'm assuming that there was some, maybe somebody expressed concern about you. We could start there. What happened where somebody felt concerned enough about you to refer that you go to therapy? What was the instigating incident?
I don't know, because they didn't talk to me. They went to Pixie.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
sort of reach out to me.
okay. Then how about we start with whatever the most recent thing is for you? What's weighing on you the most heavily right now?
Like a couple things this week. I mean, the court case was yesterday. Sorry. And, Brixton, my friend, he's a cop. He died a couple days ago. And that was complicated, and now there's, like, the cop shot him down because he went to get, like, revenge on the person who killed, like, his girlfriend, and he got shot by another cop I'm friends with, which is not, his fault or anything. But then there's another cop that's mad at the cop that shot him, that is, like, threatening him.
Mm-hmm.
The cop shot Brixton because they're like, Brixton deserved better, blah blah blah, and it's like a whole thing. It's been complicated, and then they put, like, a lot of, like, details about, like, Brixton, like, quitting and then going and shooting someone and then getting shot down into, like, an announcement on the MDT to, like, all of the cops and, like, government workers, which felt like really, I don't know, like, a lack of respect for Brixton. And I'm not saying, like, I condone, like, him, like, turning in his badge and stealing a PD gun and going and shooting someone, but, like, like, his girlfriend died and he was not, exactly, like, in his normal emotional state, and, like, he fucking died. So, like, I don't, it's just a lot of, like, personal information to be putting on blast to, like, the entire government.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes me feel weird. And then I don't know if he's going to get a funeral because the last time a cop that had like suspicious circumstances around their death died, it was my other friend, Mason Dixie, and Nino tried to put an injunction against his funeral, so we couldn't transport the body through Los Santos. We could only bury him in Blaine County, and like couldn't like have a funeral procession in the city. Like, we had to like meet up. There's another cop that died too that was allowed to have a procession through the city and whatever.
Yeah.
But Brixton's an LSPD cop, so if the city already has like a precedent of like, yeah, we don't let, you know, I guess like corrupt, you know, cops have funerals. Like, I don't know if he's gonna get like a cop funeral. And that sucks because Brixton was fucking great. And there's a deputy on duty right now named Deke that was really good friends with him, that I mean probably knows that he's gone now, but I don't know. I haven't talked to him, and I trained Deke and like introduced him to Brixton, and I don't know how I'm gonna like talk to Deke about it. And I haven't even been able to like slow down to even think about the Brixton stuff until right now, and to be honest, because I like got on duty in the middle of the night one night to check something, and then I saw a report, and a completely new like unfilled out report that he was dead, and I thought I like was misunderstanding the title, and I called the person who made the report, and I went to CMC, and I saw his body, and then all this stuff happened with the cop threatening the other cop, and I had to go and like help that, and I was like just trying to like help manage things and like keep moving and everything, and I went to bed, and then I had the court case the next morning yesterday, and I don't know how that went. It was really complicated, and I don't feel good being like, this guy has told me he's not safe for society. Like, his therapist says he's unfit for society. He's told me that he's not safe for society. If you can't figure out a solution, then I think you have to kill him. But obviously I don't want that. Like, I don't want to be the guy who killed Chatterbox. He's like, he's a clown that everybody like has a love-hate relationship with because he's fucking crazy. But like, I don't want to be that guy. And so it was just really stressful, and I don't know if I did a good job. And I wrote up just in case the state didn't have any creativity, I wrote up like a proposal for like what him getting like essentially like Parsons without Parsons treatment would look like, because it's just not, you know, there's no infrastructure for it right now. So I wrote something up, and I was like, they can veto all of this, but at least like, you know, it gives them like a jumping off point, even if they change everything. Like, I just didn't want to put it fully in their court, and they're like not feeling creative that day, and then he gets killed because of it, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I wrote all that up, and I like pitched it to the judge in the private chambers, and like the defense, you know, they were like, yeah, like blah, 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 and whatever. And I don't know if I did a good job at the court case. And then like when it was over, like before we'd even finished transporting Chatterbox, I got fucking shot in the back, and I woke up in the ICU and had lung surgery. And then I like went to go do one thing, and then I got pulled into a meeting with my high command, and they were like, at the court case, you told the judge that us being there was the most supported you felt by your high command in a month, and that is insubordination, and you can't talk about us like that. And do you want this job, yes or no? And like backed me into a corner, and I didn't really know like what to do or say, because it didn't feel right, like the whole thing. And I said I still want my job, but I don't even know if that's true at this point. And I like some parts of my job, but I don't know if I agree with like the current high command. But I didn't, and they like wanted me to fight back, but it was also, they were also saying like disagreeing with them is insubordination. So it was like, do you really want my opinion, or do you just want me to shut up and agree with you? Like, so I didn't say anything really. And I like asked for more time to think. I was like, I got shot today. I feel blindsided. Like, can I think about what you're saying to me? And they basically like, no. Like, do you want your job? Yes or no? And I didn't know what the fuck to do, because I was like, if I say no, I'm quitting. Like, I think they're like forcing me to quit, and I'm like in the middle of this court case, and I'm just gonna like walk away from it, and then someone else is gonna be taking it over, and I don't know if they're going to be putting in the effort that I've been putting in to like try to force the state to not kill this guy, right? Like, I don't know. I was, and I even offered, I was like, if you guys just want me gone, like, I will step down after this court case if you want. And they were like, no, like, we need an answer now. And I was like, bro, I just want to like finish this one fucking thing, because I do not trust any of them to like take it over. And I don't know. And nobody said if I did a good job. And I asked Ruby today if she thought I did a good job. Ruby's a lieutenant with the LSPD. And she said, you were Helen, but you did okay. I was like, I don't know what that means. But it didn't feel good.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm really worried this guy's gonna fucking die. Or maybe two of them. I really don't think there's two of them, and I don't think Ratchet's gonna die, but I'm really worried Chatterbox is gonna get killed. And I think it's gonna be my fault if he does, because I did technically advocate for the death penalty, but in like I think it is a failing of the state if you do this. But technically, he's not fit for society. So, like, you know, you got to either do something new or you know, my personal belief is that it might be the ethical solution for, like, the safety of other people. But I don't know. It didn't feel good.
When was the last time that you made time for yourself?
I went home to visit my dad, like 2 weeks ago for a couple days.
Did
My
that
dad's still
refresh
back
you?
home. Not really. I mean, it helped for sure, but I just kind of like dreaded coming back. And just, you know, I mean, I'm like glad it's me on this case, you know, but still like heavy.
Oh, I mean, Helen, what you're going through is more than heavy. You are going through basically like a stack of loss, and you're not being given any processing time for each of those different types of losses. You know, we obviously have very real intangible loss of a coworker, but we also have, what I'm hearing is that you have a very high workload, which a lot of people think that more work equals more stability, but in my experience, that is not very often the case. A high workload and lots of expectations and lots of balls in the air creates a loss of control and a loss of stability. And then also,
my workload has been unexpectedly cut in half
because
the
of
last couple of weeks.
Because of
new high command. I was a sergeant before, and I did P&T, and I'm not anymore.
Well, I mean, even with your workload cut in half, you're from everything that you've said, just that you've been dealing with in the past 48, 72 hours. I mean, it sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot of work.
The past 48, 72 hours have been a lot. Yeah.
How do you have any manifestations of stress? So anxiety, panic attacks. Some people feel very apathetic, or just a general low level, like something's wrong, like a gut feeling that something's wrong?
Been told I yell a lot at high pitches.
As a symptom of your stress?
Yeah. Apparently that's what it means to be Helen in the court case. I smoke sometimes when I'm like dealing with a heavy investigation. I notice my hands have been kind of shaky since yesterday, but that could be from the surgery.
True. Do you ever like think to yourself internally that you feel overwhelmed? Like, is that an active thought that goes through your head? Like, I feel overwhelmed?
I mean, I felt that way yesterday. Like with like the meeting with my high command, and then like, I don't know, I was at the house arrest house and I was trying to do a report because the guy who had just tried to back me in a corner about quitting got held up, and I'm the one who noticed he was getting held up because we got like a firearm call and I saw he was at the ping and he didn't respond to a status check, and I was like, we gotta roll out, and I got everybody there, and then like I think may have been the first person to start shooting when they like started, you know, pointing a second gun at him, and I don't know. And then I was like trying to do a report, and then there was like 8 clowns at the house arrest house, like trying to hang out with the guy on house arrest, and he was like kind of fucking with me and stuff, and I was feeling a little overwhelmed. And then like during the court case, I was pretty stressed, and I felt like I didn't like have like any help on the case. But I don't know, I may have done that to myself. And I don't know. Sometimes I've just been like taking a moment to sit outside and like smoke a cigarette, which I never smoked before I had this job.
Do you have, I mean, you kind of opened this up by saying you don't really have people that you can talk to about most of this. Do you have a general support group or like a safety net of people who are either outside the situation or not directly involved that you talk to?
The only person I really trust right now is my roommate, Bruce, but he's kind of on an LOA and has been doing his own thing recently. But I don't know. I mean, someone went and talked to Pixie, and I got the vibe from that meeting with High Command that, like, I mean, I'm pretty public that, like, I have not been feeling great about the new High Command.
Yeah.
So, like, it could have been anybody, but I don't know. I just got the vibe that, like, someone I had, like, talked to, you know, maybe with a little bit more trust than like shit I would just say to anybody, had like talked to them. It just doesn't feel good. I don't know. I just don't really know who I can talk to about this stuff. And I can't talk to people outside the PD, but I can't talk to people inside the PD because I've basically been told that I'll get fired for insubordination if I do that.
I'm going to kind of ask you like a big open-ended question, and I just kind of want to hear whatever your answer is. There's no right or wrong answer, but just, are you satisfied with the direction that your life has taken? Like, I know that there's a lot of external stressors happening right now, but overall, are you content with what you've chosen to do with your life?
I don't know. I feel good about like the work I've been putting into this case.
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of cops that like would not have done the stuff I've been doing and put in like the extra effort to like make sure someone like gets the care that they need.
Mhm.
So I feel good about that, and that was like, you know, why I wanted this job, because I wanted to like help people, and I quite frankly like feel like I was making a difference. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel liked right now. Like there was like a lot of people at the court case yesterday, like they were like throwing papers at me, calling me smelly and stinky, and like crash out Helen, and like, you know, heckling and stuff when I would talk. And definitely don't think my high command likes me. And that doesn't feel good. That's like not, you know, what I wanted from life.
Mm-hmm.
I got along with everybody in like high school, like back in my hometown.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Stuff just wasn't as heavy back then, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, the problems of teenagers and the problems of police officers, you know, pursuing death penalty court cases. I mean, they're about as far apart removed as you can get. I'm going to say, you know, despite you saying that your workload has been cut in half, just the amount that you have disclosed to me, and obviously, like, I'm going to sit here and tell you, I don't know you. Like, still, with everything that you've just given me about your current situation, you know, therapy for me is a process of getting to know you over the course of many sessions where we talk about more than just your current stressors. We talk about who you are as a person, where you were before this, like where you come from, you know, how you process in a typical situation without external factors, process grief, how you process stress, all of these things. So I want you to understand that I'm not sitting here and trying to psychoanalyze you or tell you that I know you. All I can tell you is based on this conversation that we've had so far, which is just that I worry about the amount that you're carrying right now. Because the death of a friend alone is enough to cripple some people. And being forced to push through that because of your job, and I understand being a police officer is a whole different ballpark when we're talking about loss and grief. But being forced to push through that to the point where you're saying you haven't even slowed down enough to process it until now. And then we're also talking about these very, very heavy court case where people won't like you because it is a death penalty case. I mean, they probably wouldn't like you even if it was life in prison. But like you said, if this person is a danger to themselves and to society, there's only so much you can do in your position. So it is just a fact of the situation you're in that people won't like you. But then we're on top of that also experiencing this kind of lack of support from your command, the people who are supposed to be there to uplift and support and offer guidance when you are in situations like this, because I can only imagine that any high command member has had their fair share of loss juggled with court cases, juggled with the job, juggled with your personal life, your personal feelings. So listening to you talk about all of that has me worried for where you and taking care of and checking in on yourself and your emotional state, like how much time is that getting out of your daily thoughts? I mean, and I'm really happy that you're here and talking about it to me now, but I don't want this to be a one-off conversation if this is the kind of shit that you're dealing with, Helen. Because I'm not going to be able to like wave my hand and you'll be cured and you'll be able to leave and go deal with all of this stuff magically.
It's not like it's always this heavy. It's, you know, the bad.
But it's heavy right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if you're carrying a boulder that's breaking your back and you're saying eventually I'll be able to put it down, it's still breaking your back right now.
Like my job, though.
That is a very lucky thing. A lot of people hate their jobs. But also, there is more than just the daily tasks that goes into what makes up a profession. I could be a receptionist at a million different companies across the world, but I promise you each experience would be wildly different, even if my daily tasks were generally the same. So even though you love your job, you love being a cop, it doesn't mean that you are experiencing the best version of being a police officer.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely felt better in the past. It's not felt good the past month or so.
Is that a boulder we're carrying that's breaking your back, or is that a manageable weight?
I don't know, with everything else going on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was like manageable, but I don't know. The conversation that I had with High Command yesterday did not make me feel good. Did not make me feel like I'm gonna be supported.
Yeah.
They also, like, at some point they said something along the lines of like, you're not special, like we've got other stuff going on, and it's like, damn. You know, if that's really how you see me saying I don't feel supported by you guys, then I don't know what to tell you at that point.
Yeah, meeting your grievances with, well, you know, a dismissal is not going to make anybody feel wanted or welcome.
Yeah, and then they were like, well, you need to communicate your issues better. And I didn't say it, but I was like, how the fuck does this meeting make me want to communicate with you more? Like, how, like, I don't understand what the end goal was, other than I genuinely think they just wanted me to quit. But I don't know. I don't know. It didn't feel manageable before that either. with Brixton and
Yeah.
dealing with like the death penalty case alone. And also I don't want to be too dramatic. I'm not like completely alone. Like Selena is a really good cop and she's like the parole officer for Chatterbox and stuff. But that means I can't like, she knows a lot more than other people, but I still can't talk to her about some stuff because he's like, you know, told me things that are like private in interrogation, and she's his parole officer, so she's got like a different role to fulfill, and I don't want to, you know, I don't know. She knows a lot, but I just, you know, I have to do my best to like hide some of the struggle, like of like, do I think this guy deserves the death penalty, and do I want to give him the death penalty, and do I think it's the right thing to give him the death penalty, and is it my job to do that, and but also like, can I live with myself if I do that, even if it is my job, like, but I can't go up and say like, I don't want to give him the death penalty, not because I don't think it's the right thing, but because I just don't think I can do it. Like I couldn't do the case. It was just, I don't know. It was a lot to like figure out. It was a lot. It was heavy. You're right.
If you're okay with it, I'd like to talk through some different tools that I use. I use them a lot in grief counseling, but I think a lot of them would be super helpful to you. And I am not expecting anyone to be perfect and immediately just start adopting all of these tools and using them. Some of them will feel intuitive to you and will work. Others will feel silly and you can toss them out the window. But I have some stuff that I might like you to try, and then we can meet back as soon as tomorrow or the next day and kind of gauge your mental state once you've tried to employ some tools.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go through some, and you can tell me what sounds good to you and what you'd like to give it a shot and what you think would not work for you, okay? Because I would like to learn more about you even while we're doing this. So one that I think is really helpful, especially for people who are feeling overwhelmed, is basically we make a priority list. So when someone asks you to do something, or you ask yourself to do something, so example, go to a meeting, get food, talk to person A or person B, write a warrant, go to court, everything that comes up on your to-do list, you prioritize it. And usually I recommend urgent, important, and can wait. So basically, something that cannot wait, something that is urgent, is you need to take care of yourself. You need to eat, you need to sleep, you need to rest, you need to hydrate. Things that can wait. Maybe it's been a while since you've talked to your dad. You are overwhelmed with lots going on at work. You're being overwhelmed with lots going on in your personal life. Maybe a phone call with your dad can wait, unless you think that it would actively improve your mental state, in which case it might become important or even urgent. And so you just go about your tasks and you note what can wait. And it makes you actually evaluate every aspect of your day, where instead of everything feeling like it has to be done right now, you kind of evaluate them individually as like, well, this actually can't wait.
I'm so sorry. Do you mind if I get a pen and paper from my car to write this stuff down?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't mind at all.
It'll just take me a minute.
She's so cute. I'm gonna give her, this is actual. So the urgent, important, can wait is something that I actually do. I got that from my therapist. Timeout strategy. So waiting, like taking 5 to 10 minutes, just short breaks whenever she feels like her brain is becoming cyclical or she's starting to feel overwhelmed internally. And then I kind of want her to name losses as well. I think these are the 3 I'm going to give her. Name losses for specifically what feels like she is losing it in that moment. And it's not grief dependent, right? So like if she feels like she's lost a person and she's feeling that loss, she can write down the name Brixton. If she's like specifically noting his loss. In a meeting like where she's like meeting with high command and she's feeling undervalued, she could write under her losses appreciation or stability or community or respect, right? And it allows her just to kind of externalize those factors so that it's not just kind of spinning around in her head. Like, so Siren is very big on lists and writing things down. Like it's her classic, like go-to, like let's make lists and let's note physically where we can see it when we are experiencing loss or when we're experiencing stress or when we're experiencing whatever it is, right? Hi, Buddha. And then also, I think giving her the chore to go explore on an emotional level who she thinks she can lean on and really dig into those relationships about like how she feels when she's talking to certain people. Welcome back. No, it's okay.
Okay. Priority list.
Yeah, urgent, important, can wait. And the tool is meant to have you slow down a little bit, look at your daily list of tasks, and actually prioritize them. Because when, Helen, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a huge fan of lists. I love lists because I think that a lot of people's primary obstacle is getting things out of their head and physically noting it, like externalizing the stress that's happening inside their head, because it feels more tangible when you can see it on paper. So I'm going to give you a lot of list techniques to use, or a lot of ways to externalize your feelings. And like I said, if you don't want to do any of these, or if you do none of them between the now and the next time we talk, it's totally fine. It's just nice to know that these things are here.
Okay.
Okay, so prioritization, urgent, important, can wait. Hopefully negates some of that, like everything feels like it has to happen right now. Hopefully reduces some of your stress. Another list tool is...
1 second.
No, it's okay.
I will call you back so soon. Okay. Sorry, that's someone I think I'm doing a job interview with today.
No, it's okay. Second technique would be naming losses. So this is not just for when a moment feels particularly heavy with a person that you have lost. Now, if that specific loss comes up, of course, add it to the list, you know, as you are feeling the loss of this person. But also name losses that are less tangible. So in that meeting that you had with your high command, after that meeting, you could come to your list and write down you feel like you've lost community or respect or leadership or communication or whatever it is that you are feeling in that moment that you're experiencing that loss. It's a really good way to just kind of... Sometimes there isn't a word exactly for what we are feeling when we are losing a lot at the same time. And it might not be a lot compared to, like, I'm sure that somebody is suffering with terminal illness right now and they're facing their own mortality, and that is its own struggle and its own kind of loss. This is different and it's more intangible, but taking a minute to actually look at what you feel like you've lost over the course of that interaction or that situation or that day, and bringing it back to me so we can talk about it, is really helpful for a lot of people. The last one that I would ask you to actually actively practice, if you can't find time to write down anything, I want you to be your own mother and put yourself in timeout. Make yourself take breaks from the things that are going on, even if you want to work in tandem with your lists. If you can see that you do not have anything urgent on your list, great time for a timeout. Give yourself 5 to 10 minutes, go smoke a cigarette, go on a walk, call somebody you love, go buy yourself a nice meal, buy a new outfit, do your hair a different way. Take 10 minutes to just check in with yourself, be alone with yourself, do something that is going to bring you even the smallest little serotonin boost. Just have a minute away from your list, away from your responsibilities, and just give yourself a timeout.
Okay.
Have you ever practiced meditation?
No. Well, kind of, yeah. I'm into like some spirituality stuff, so I get tarot card readings from one song sometimes.
That's great.
And I like burn incense and sit and think at home and shred cabbage with my bare hands.
Okay.
I don't know if that's meditation.
It is. It's meditative.
Okay.
In its, I mean, repetitive action is very meditative. I would look into guided meditation if you're interested at all when you are winding down for the day. It's a good time to kind of reflect on your lists. It's a good time to kind of take stock of the day and your own emotional state, and then fully like be present in your own body. I think that's, for me, what I really like about guided meditation, is it's just a way to kind of hand control over to another person for, even if it's just on an app or on a YouTube video, hand over control to somebody else for a minute and allow them to help me relax. The other thing, and this is something that I think is very important, and if you do literally nothing else, if you don't make lists, if you don't take timeouts, if you persevere, push through, right? If you don't take breaks, the only other thing that I would ask you to do is seek out Deke and experience that loss with him. I'm sure you were going to plan on talking to him anyway, but I don't just mean deliver that news as a coworker. I mean, allow yourself to sit in the grief with him as another person who will probably feel like he cannot experience, because he's also a police officer, right?
Yeah.
In my experience, police are the worst at actually processing their grief because they deal with a lot of it. And it's why we have such a high domestic violence rate and depression rate in police officers. So I would really take the time to sit with this person that you know is going to be feeling that loss very heavily, and actually make time for the two of you to talk about it and process it together. Whether that's 15 to 30 minutes or however long it ends up taking you. That's the one thing I would ask you to prioritize. That for me is an urgent on the priority list.
Okay. Okay, I can do that.
How are you feeling?
Sad. Yeah, sad.
I know that you are carrying a lot right now. And it might be the norm for you to just shoulder that and keep going. But whether this is our first and last session or our first of many, which I hope it's the latter, it takes courage to talk to somebody about the weight that you're carrying rather than just pushing through.
Yeah, I think it'll be good to have someone to talk to. So, thanks.
Is there anything that you would like me to do between now and the next time that we talk? Is there anything that you would like me to dig deeper into? Do you want me to... I'm a big researcher between sessions. If there is something that you feel like you're particularly struggling with, that you want more, say you want more coping techniques for specifically grief, or more techniques for dealing with stress at work, or even specifically policing, is there anything that you want me to dig into for you?
I don't know. I mean, how to not blame myself, I guess, if this guy does get the death penalty. A little worried about that.
Helen, if he
research for that though.
If he gets the death penalty, it's because the judge thinks that's an appropriate punishment.
Yeah, but like, I mean, plenty of other cops would have just given him a plea deal for like 5 years in jail and called it that. They wouldn't have like pushed it this far, you know?
But would that have been right for the situation?
I don't know.
I mean, based on what Pixie, my boss, has said, this person is not fit for society and is a danger to themselves and other people.
Yeah.
So the answer is no. I think pretty straightforward. It is not even your professional opinion. It is a trusted psychologist's professional opinion that he is not fit to be out and about. A 5-year plea deal would not have been an appropriate punishment for this individual.
I guess. I just, logically, I know that, but if I like actually feel like that, if it happens, I don't know.
There are certain aspects of this situation that are completely outside of your hands. One of those is whether or not the judge agrees with you that that punishment is the right one.
Yeah, I don't know. There wouldn't be anything else.
Okay, I will look into that for you and see if there have been any successful techniques with breaking cyclical thinking, blaming oneself for things that are outside of your control. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm not one to overdo it with therapy, but I would be happy to talk to you tomorrow or the next day if you feel like you need it.
Okay. I'll see, how today goes.
Okay.
But I would be down tomorrow or the next day.
Okay. I'm also always a text away. As long as you're my patient, I do not mind you checking in. If talking to Siren becomes urgent on your to-do list, call me.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you.
I really, really appreciate you coming and talking to me.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Well, and for trusting me with everything that you've just said, because that was a lot.
God, I really hope I can't.
You
Because
can.
I'm gonna be so for real. You could probably get me fired right now, like
No.
easily.
Everything you said is between me and you. I give you my word. As a human being and as a therapist.
Okay. Would you text me your state ID
Yeah, of course.
so I have it to like pay you for sessions in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully I'll be covered by the state here very soon.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see. 19553.
In case you need any more food.
Oh, thank you.
So
I
I have
appreciate
to go to maybe a job interview. So
Okay, well, I wish you the best of luck.
thanks. We'll see if they want me.
Be safe, okay, Helen?
Will do. You too.
Okay. 19553. Okay. 19553. Helen Highwater. Oh, Helen. Thank God she fed me. Mickey letting me play pretend at being her therapist. Okay, hold on one second. Save as. Browse. I record all of the sessions just so I have them for my notes, because I don't want to forget anything. Helen Highwater. My computer, not yours. Let me turn on my AC again. What a good first session, though. I mean, she definitely, uncovered a lot. I mean, thank you, Apple. It's one of those things where it's Helen unloaded, a lot of information on Siren. And Siren, here's the thing is Siren's not a miracle worker. And, what she said about Helen is true. She's I still don't know you. I'm hearing your stressors and I'm worried about your stressors. I think the amount of stressors that you have is a lot for any one person to bear, but I don't know you specifically. I don't know anything about you. So I think Siren, she's not a miracle worker. She's not a magician. She can only give Helen tools that she feels will be most immediately useful to her right now. But slowly over time, as Siren gets to know Helen better, on a patient level, Siren will be able to offer more specialized feedback and advice and opinions based on Helen's specific situation, right? It's just, usually Siren in an opening session would be tell me about your life. Tell me about, where did you grow up? Did you have a good relationship with your parents? What do you do for work? Are you married, engaged? Are you dating someone? She would ask a lot of those kinds of questions. But because Helen came in and was like, I'm stressed. Like I'm going through, I lost a friend, like Brixton is dead. I am dealing with this death penalty court case. I am stressed. Like my hike man does not support me. Like Siren is like, we got to at least get you some techniques that you can use to feel more in control of your fucking life. Because if you can see your grievances on paper, what you feel like you're losing on a day-to-day like level, and then also prioritize like your urgency list of like what is important to you, what needs to be handled now and what can wait, like then we won't have as many, hopefully as many, like it won't feel so overwhelming the next time we talk, right? Because we'll see what's urgent and what's not. It's a lot. It is a lot. I'm gonna go look up tiny apartments on Pinterest. What do y'all think about them apples? Let's see. Tiny apartment. Cute. Let's see. I have been enjoying therapy. Helen's life in PD has been absolutely fucked. Still surviving though. Yeah, I did her first session today. I had no idea it was Mickey. Like I was getting text from a person who was like, hey, can I get therapy with you? And I was like, oh, sure. Had no clue it was. I was like sketched out because I was like, oh, this person's gonna probably try and kill me. But it was Helen. It literally was Helen. I like showed up and I found out it was Helen because I was like, I don't even want to check because I pinged them, but I was like, I don't even want to check the user list because I want to be surprised by who it is. It was random for me. I mean, obviously Mickey knows that I'm playing Siren, but it was random for me. Yeah, poor Helen. God. And Siren's like, I'm worried about your mental state, girly. Like, you might have a fucking mental collapse if you're not careful. Okay. So thank you for coming in to see me. Usually with my first sessions, I have some just general preliminary questions that I like to ask. But if you are here for an urgent reason and would like to dive right in, whatever I can do to help
do
you.
whatever you do.
Okay.
I'm an open book.
Okay. So typically when I'm with a new patient, my first question is always just what brings you into therapy?
Oh boy. Well, the main thing is that I was kidnapped, tortured, and almost brainwashed for a little while.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
Okay, then what? Oh God. Okay. So I'm assuming that you've got a lot of mental stress, a lot of anxiety. You said you were almost brainwashed.
Yeah.
I'd like to dig into the symptoms, the effects of all of that is specifically bringing you in here. When I'm going into sessions where, you know, the patient has a lot of trauma or a lot of stuff going on, I like to narrow in on one thing, and we just work on one thing at a time. So whatever you feel like is the most pressing, you know, anxiety or stressor that we could dig into today.
We haven't even finished the questions.
Well, you know, I typically only do sessions for about 30 to 45 minutes at the absolute most.
That makes sense.
And I will ask the questions as they become relevant while we're talking.
Makes sense.
I will ask though, have you been to therapy for any of this before?
I was a therapist
Oh, okay. Well, so
for a long
no.
time. No, I've been to a few therapy sessions, but mostly I just did my own
I mean,
until I got fired.
well, doing your own therapy isn't good practice.
Well, no, I did.
Oh, you did
For
other
other
people's.
people.
Okay. I thought
Yeah.
you were just treating yourself. I was like, you know, there has been a, you know, self-talk is positive in some situations, but
I'd
not
be
a
a terrible
replacement.
therapist for myself. I never listened to my own advice.
Okay, noted. Okay, so out of all of that, what is the primary concern right now?
I can't figure out why I still love the person who did it to me.
Okay.
Because the one who brought me to get brainwashed was my now ex-wife.
Would you care to, as much as you're comfortable with, give me some context surrounding the situation?
There's this group of people called the Smileys. They're a group of serial killer, brainwashy people. And my wife, she joined them and probably got brainwashed herself. When I found out, I told her we were through. She didn't like that, pulled out a knife, and brought me to where they brainwash people so that I would stay with her. I'd be part of their family. And I spent 4 days. 4 days there until I got rescued. By pure happenstance.
And you're wondering why it is that you still care about this person that hurt you this way.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot more problems than that, but that's the one that I just keep struggling with.
So, you said that you love her still, right? To you, I want you to describe what that love feels like. Like where it lives inside your body. If there are any symptoms of that, do you feel when you think of them, is it heart fluttering? Is it a sense of longing and loss? Like I want to dig into specifically what the love for her feels like.
It's like an ache in my chest. Like something I feel wrong about because part of me knows that she hurt me so badly, and the other part wants things to go back to the way they were. So it's like these two thoughts just constantly warring against each other.
So when we're using the word love, is that just you reminiscing and wishing things were the way they were when you first got together?
Love is complicated. I don't know how I would describe it. The want to take care of her, the want to be there by her side always, to see her when I wake up, to know that she'll always be there beside me. Someone who will never leave.
It is. And where do those desires come from? The desire to take care of her or be with her every day. Where are those thoughts and feelings coming from?
Well, I know where they come from. They come for the same reason why I became a therapist, to try and help people. They come from every relationship I've ever been in. Because I don't want to lose people again. I want to be able to fix things.
I can definitely empathize with that desire to fix things and people. I think anyone who got into this profession has some level of drive within themselves to want to be an asset to others, to help others, right?
Yeah.
The reason that I'm asking you these questions is because when we're talking about grief and love, especially for a person who is not dead, but is just divided from us, and we're especially looking at a relationship that has caused you harm, I like to dig in and in and in so that we can start to separate feelings of love away from the person they are now and move them to be only for the person they were, so that the love is not current, it is in the past.
You know, it's funny that your ad said you specialized in grief counseling, and that's what drew me to it, because the only type of therapy I didn't do was grief counseling. Because I couldn't do it. That's the one thing I couldn't do.
I love being a grief counselor. It was something that I felt a calling to very early on in my schooling. And, you know, I think a lot of people just look at grief counseling and see it as, oh, they deal with people who have lost loved ones to death, right? But I've helped people grieve lost jobs, relationships, you know, huge life upheavals. And I think your situation is just another one of many different versions of grief.
Oh, it is. Always has been.
Are you still in contact with each other?
No, but she keeps calling me on an unknown number and not saying anything.
How do you know it's her?
Because I asked Ember, and the call immediately hung up.
You still love her, but in your head, do you actively want to be together again?
No.
That's
I don't.
good. That's good.
But also, I know she made decisions that got her in with them, but they also brainwashed her too. So part of me knows that in some ways it was out of her control, but in some ways it was in her control. And I don't know how to separate those two things. It's difficult.
You know, one of my favorite things to say, and I'm sure as a therapist you've heard it, is that an explanation is not an excuse.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we don't have any way of knowing exactly how much was inside of her control and how much was outside of her control. All we have is the impact that it had on you. And obviously it's had a very big impact on you.
Yeah. Yeah, it has.
Are you sleeping well?
Oh boy. I have had issues with sleep for my whole life. No, I haven't been sleeping well.
How many hours a night would you say that you get?
4, 5.
Okay.
It's a lot of nightmares. So
Yeah.
it depends.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I'm good at functioning on minimal sleep.
Are your nightmares like a replaying of events, or do you elaborate on them in your mind? Are you dreaming things that actually happened, or?
The problem is, I can't tell what happened and what didn't sometimes. Because I was very drugged up a lot of the time. I couldn't tell what was hallucination and what was reality.
I mean, that's obviously very disorienting.
Yeah. Usually I'm pretty good at discerning that, but not in that state.
You said that you were nearly brainwashed. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Okay, what happened?
Well, I mean, you know, they just try and brainwash people to become one of the Smileys.
Right, but in what way?
You know, conditioning you. All that stuff you don't want to hear about.
Would you say that it's a cult?
Definitely. They all refer to each other as family.
I mean, obviously, the drugs aside, is it physical and emotional abuse?
Yeah.
But you feel like you don't have a good grip on what happened because of the drugs.
I don't know some of what happened, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a lot of stuff is clear in my mind, but some isn't. I mean, it was 4 days, so a lot happened.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, I got scars all over me. I got a big smiley face carved in my back.
In your mind, do you separate your ex-wife from that harm? Or are they... I mean, obviously you can acknowledge her presence there, but do you associate that harm with her?
I do. She was the one that brought me there. She wasn't there, but she brought me there. And she always intended to. And she knows I had a long, long history with the Smileys. This goes back 8 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows that. She knows that being taken by them was one of my deepest fears. And I told her that many times when she started talking to them.
Have you done any work to try and heal from that whole situation since it happened?
I don't even know if I'm out.
What do you mean by that?
Right before I got rescued, they re-upped the drugs. So who's to say that this isn't all just a big hallucination? And that I'm still there?
Do you feel like you're in danger right now?
Oh, yeah.
From what?
Do you think they're not going to try and track me down and complete the brainwashing? I doubt they're just going to give up.
Why do you think they would be so set on having you?
Probably because of Ember. And also, I mean, we do have a long history.
Have you thought about moving away?
I don't think I could.
Why not?
This is my home. I've lived here for so long. I have all my friends here. I've built my life here. Do I just let them win?
I think the, quote unquote, letting them win mentality can be very dangerous. Because ultimately, staying somewhere where you are consistently in harm's way is its own form of letting them win. Especially if something happens to you.
I don't think I'd be able to leave even if I wanted to.
obviously, with a background as a therapist, I'm sure that I'll say things that, you know, you've heard before.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't have a even mostly complete picture of everything that you've gone through.
Oh no, that'd
Just
be a lot to
scratching the
drop on you
surface.
in one session.
Trust me, I'm seasoned. I've heard a lot.
I don't know if you've heard of all of this going on.
You know, every situation is different, every patient is different, and the city obviously has its own unique challenges as I'm learning.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm a tough cookie.
I thought I was as well. Just takes a lot of things to break you down. I wish you luck.
Thank you.
I kept my job for 2 years.
I think it's very common to feel love or a version of love or attachment for a person who has harmed you, especially when at the beginning of the relationship things were very good. And I don't have to tell you, most abusive relationships begin as very good. And then slowly over time, harm is introduced into the situation, and it's slowly increased until, you know, it becomes normalized for both parties.
Yeah.
I also think that what you went through, having drug-induced, you know, essentially torture, trying to make you think or behave or believe a certain way, is only going to amp up those chemical and emotional bonds that you feel for your ex-wife.
Yeah.
I think that at least I see continued love for a person that has done horrible things is almost a survival response. Because acknowledging the fact that they are not the person that you thought they were not a person maybe even deserving of your love or your time or affection or whatever it is insanely painful to bear.
I'm good at handling pain.
Even so, there are parts of you, you know, deep inside your subconscious that do not want to feel pain. As much
No,
as you
definitely
can,
not.
as much as you can handle, you know.
I had to handle it.
I mean, yeah, that's life, unfortunately. It's just push forward or die.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to talk about some potential tools that you could use to try and begin to separate not only aspects of yourself, but also aspects of your love. I think noticing and separating the parts of yourself, it can sometimes feel very overwhelming when you're like, I feel this and this and this and this all at the same time. But I would encourage you to really, when you're feeling those feelings of love and betrayal, to separate them in your head as like, there is this part of me, right? It's not all of me. There is a piece of me that still loves my ex-wife. You know, there is a piece of me that feels betrayed. There is a piece of me that misses how things used to be. It's not all of you all the time. And sometimes dividing yourself up into pieces and then acknowledging and allowing those pieces to have their moment in the spotlight can kind of allow you to see the complexity of the situation a little bit more and start to draw boundaries between those different pieces of yourself and acknowledge which ones are bigger and which ones are smaller. Because obviously, if you're here, the piece of you that wants to move on from your ex and move on from that love is a big piece of you.
Yeah.
I also, you know,
Yeah, it is. But sometimes I think we can't get what we want.
I think that the situation that you've been through has put you at a great disadvantage when it comes to overcoming that experience and those feelings. I don't think anything's impossible.
Part of me wonders if it's even worth it. When they're just gonna get their hands on me again.
Obviously, that's a really big anxiety for you, but I don't think it's a good reason to not work on getting better.
Yeah, I guess so.
Of course, I can't sit here and say that it's not going to happen, but it's not a certainty in your future.
No, it's not.
And you shouldn't waste the time that
certain.
you know, have.
My problem is that I always know these things logically. It's just I never feel myself being logical.
Do you have any anchoring or grounding items?
Not really.
Do you have anything that you own at home or something you've had for a long time that has deep sentimental value to you that is disconnected from your ex?
I was gonna say I used to have my ring.
I want it to be something that is special to you and only to you because it's yours.
Yeah, I do.
If it's something that's small enough to carry around with you, then I would recommend doing so. When you feel overwhelmed by feelings, or you are feeling something maybe particularly tough, or you're even having feelings of not being safe, or those thoughts about maybe I didn't even get out, you know, maybe I was never rescued, I would recommend that you squeeze it tightly and really examine the way that it feels when you're holding it. I'd also encourage you to, even if you're out in public, it doesn't matter. Just take off, you know, take off your shoes and like press your feet into the ground. Take 2 to 5 minutes just to only focus on those physical sensations and remind yourself that you are safe. That you are not back at that place and that you are out and you are actively trying to get better and move forward from the people and the things that hurt you.
Yeah.
The other thing that I would recommend you do, I love lists. It's my favorite tool to recommend to people. I call it kind of like a reality test. And basically what it is a way to kind of separate the more complicated thoughts into their two separate parts, which is like the way that I remember things and the way that they were. And it's really good for acknowledging that logical part of your brain while also acknowledging the illogical part of your brain. So, you know, like what I miss about her versus what she did to me. Or even like a closer look at, you know, those deeper feelings in the past. Like, do you just miss an idea of a person? Do you think that you miss something that you actually don't? And just basically whenever you're starting to get into either cyclical thinking or thoughts about her or the situation, just pull out your phone. I usually keep mine in like a notes app and just write down, you know, what I remember or what I miss, and then how things are, how things were. And start to physically keep a record of those, you know, like the pieces I was telling you about. You know, there's a piece of me that misses waking up next to her. But the reality is that this person hurt you very deeply. And regardless of her emotional state at the time, you know, you deserve more than that. Much, much more than that. Nobody deserves to be hurt by a loved one or by anyone, but especially by somebody that we trust.
You're right. Thank you.
What's something good that happened to you today?
I got to see some explosions of cars. That was cool.
Why was that? Why did that happen?
It's fun to see things blow up sometimes.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying how and where.
It was up in Grapeseed. Just a bunch of cars piled up and then blew up. And I got a perfect shot of it.
Okay. There you go. There's one thing.
Yeah.
How would you say?
And I didn't get kidnapped and tortured today, so that's a win.
Are you taking precautions against getting kidnapped?
I'm in a disguise right now.
Okay, that's great. Do you have, you mentioned having friends. Do you have a community around you that will protect you? Or at least be with you?
I do.
Okay. And I'm assuming the police know about this entire situation.
Yep.
Okay. Listen, obviously, you don't need me to tell you that you are at the beginning of a very long journey of recovery. But, you know, you're walking the path. Even if today is our only session, I'm really proud of you for talking to me.
Thank you.
And I would personally love to talk again. I think that, you know, I don't know you. You know, I know about this thing that happened to you, but I don't know you as a person.
Well, don't ask Pixie about me, because I'm pretty sure she's biased about me.
She may be, but I don't know anything about you. So I'm going to keep it that way until you tell me.
All right.
And we can meet again. I usually like to give it a couple days between sessions. Usually in like crisis situations, like I would say you're in. I don't mind meeting a few times a week. And then we slow down as you start to feel better. But obviously, I'm here to move at your pace. So if you don't want to meet again for another week or two, that is up to you. I'm here to support you in whatever you need. And I'm also happy to, I'm just a phone call away if something feels emergent and you need to talk to somebody.
All right.
Okay, last thing I'm going to ask you is, what is your emotional rating on a scale from 1 to 10? 1 being this is the worst day of your life, 10 being the best, happiest you've ever felt.
4.
A 4?
Yeah.
Is that pretty typical for you?
I mean, recently, yeah.
Okay. Well, get ready for me to ask you that question every session.
I'll be ready.
Thank you for coming in.
Of course.
And like I said, I'm always just a phone call or a text away if you need something, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, I'll walk with you. Just keep things short. It's a lot to unpack.
Funny you chose the second door down on this side. I was the second door down on that side.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the colors in there.
Brown's good.
It's just very soothing. Okay, be safe, okay?
I will.
36 minutes. Pretty good. This is Siren.
Hi, Siren. Kid Archer. I was
hi,
wondering if
Kit.
you were available. Hi. I was wondering if you were available for a therapy session.
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. Are you at the hospital?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll be there in a couple minutes.
Okay, I'll see you soon.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye. Okay, save this. Joanna. Session 1.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Okay, you want to go upstairs?
Yeah. I told my dad that I went to see the therapist and I said I think I'm cured of brain rot. I might have finished the text message with Lizard though, and he said, "Okay, you're definitely not cured." But I think it's still the thought that counts.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
I'm glad that
Trying
you.
at least.
Did he seem proud of you?
Yeah, I think so.
Good.
I'm proud. Yeah. So I actually wanted to talk to you about something else that happened.
Okay.
So last week, I committed a crime, and I got arrested for it,
Sure.
and that's all fine. But when I was sent up, the deputy that sent me up, I guess, didn't realize that there was an active prison riot happening, and he sent me into a prison riot. And the weird thing about it was that, like, when the people that were holding out the prison, they they were all actually pretty nice. They were like, oh, hey, like I knew some of them. And they then said, okay, the cops say that you can leave, you know. And I was like, okay, great. Like, I'm not involved with this. I'll just walk out, and then whatever happens happens. As I was walking out, literally, I get told to leave. I walk to the door of the cell block, and the cops charge in. I jump to the side to try to hide from, like, there's like 20 cops that breach basically, and I end up getting shot a few times from the situation. And now I'm just frustrated because I feel like now if I get arrested again, I literally have to ask, like, is there a prison riot happening? Like, is it safe for you to send me up there? Am I gonna get shot again? Like, the disregard for, like, my safety. And, like, I understand I'm a criminal, you know, and I've done bad things, but I committed a crime and I got arrested. I don't think it's fair to say that, like, I deserve to also get shot in that situation, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, cop negligence is nothing that I'm unfamiliar with. I would say that you were put in a unsafe situation needlessly. I would be outraged. I think feeling frustrated is completely normal in that situation. You never should have been sent. I mean, listen, I know that nobody wants to be held in the cells for 30, 45 minutes while they're resolving the riot, but, you know, the consequence of you being sent was that you were shot. And now you feel like you can't... The trust between the general public, especially people who commit any kind of crime or live the way that you do, you know, the trust between you and the police is already so fragile. And they're not doing themselves any favor by disregarding your safety, not even checking to see if sending you to jail is in your best interest. Better to sit in the cells, you know, at the station for 45 minutes than be put in the situation that you were.
And I mean, it's not even just, like, about me, you know. It's that, like, just me being there, and then, like, all of a sudden there's, like, another layer to the situation, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, the people that were holding up the prison, like, I knew some of them, like, they didn't do this, but they could have easily taken me hostage. That could have created a more awkward situation. You know, other people could have gotten hurt. It just feels like time and time again, in my experience with the police department, like when I was a cop, and then just, like, afterwards, it's negative. I mean, when I was a cop, I really, like, I tried to be, like, very fair, you know? I tried to just charge people, like, based on just you know, like, just by the law, just, like, based on it. Like, I think I was maybe a little bit too lenient at times, I'll admit. But I never wanted anybody to feel... It wasn't my job to make people feel bad about what they did. It was my job to enforce the law, you know?
Yeah.
And I've heard it time and time again from people that, like, and it's not all cops, there are some good cops, right? But, like, it's just more often than not, I just find myself in situations with people that they're almost power hungry, you know? It's like, I've heard people say, like, cops are just, like, bullies with badges, which I don't think is true for everyone, but I don't know. I mean, I left the police department because I was shot by another cop. And part of the reason why I left wasn't just because I was shot, was because of like the lack of kind of empathy from other officers, you know?
Right.
It felt almost like outcast because of that situation. I was the one that got shot.
Yeah. You would expect to be supported in that.
I think, and my dad, you know, he was the chief of police at the time. And I'll say even him, I felt unsupported.
Yeah, so you have a long history of these kind of, you know, bad situations with the police, both when you were a part of the force and now that you're not.
No wonder I tried to burn down 2 police departments. They were really good fires, by the way.
Okay, other than frustrated, how else are you feeling about this whole thing?
I think I'm just afraid, right? Because if there's the inability to do something so small, because it is not hard to check if there's a prison riot. It is not hard to get on the radio and, you know, say, you know, DOC from PD. If they can't even do that, like, how can you kind of trust people who basically your life is in their hands to not take advantage of that in some way, you know, for their own like gain? Or I just don't trust the PD. I don't really trust the systems that are in place right now.
I mean, from everything that you're saying, they haven't built up that trust with you. You know, they have done things to you that are actively breaking down maybe any trust you had in the past.
And this isn't the first time I've been breached either, you know?
Yeah.
Like there was a bank, it was a while ago. It was earlier this year. And I will say negotiations, they were failing at one point. It is not just on the PD here. Like the demands that were being asked were demands that the PD could not fulfill.
Right.
But then it was renegotiated and everybody agreed upon everything and everything seemed fine. And then we got into the car and the PD opened fire on the car and we were all shot down instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I talked to some officers about the prison situation and they were like, well, we were trying to talk to like negotiate for your release and they were saying no. And I asked the people that were in the cells with me, I was like, did that happen? And they said no. And I'm just like, negotiations be damned. Like, even if they did negotiate, how am I supposed to believe any of it? Because I've been in a situation before where we've negotiated and they've still shot us down when there was no need. Like the hostage was safe. Like everybody was safe.
I think this is just a vent session. This isn't necessarily like a helper session.
I just don't know what to do anymore. You know,
Yeah.
I think that there's like an expectation of like, you know,
I gotta get food.
We give a little bit, you know, and like, I don't want to give anything. PD be damned, negotiations be damned. Like, what's even the point if I'm just gonna get shot?
Yeah. Yeah, I can completely see your perspective. And listen, I know that, I've worked with the state many times in the past. I've evaluated prisoners before, but there is really no love between me and police in general. I think ultimately, I know that, of course, some cops are good at their jobs and some make you feel safe and like they are listening to you and they will treat you fairly. But when people say, fuck the police or they can't be trusted, they are speaking generally because the general actions of the police are bad. And yes, there are a few good ones, but I'm sure you've heard, they say like, don't let one bad apple, spoil the bunch, but it's like, that's exactly the point of the bad apple metaphor. It is one bad apple spoils the bunch.
And it feels like it's kind of the opposite in the PD. There's like one good apple
Yeah.
among all the bad ones.
Yeah. And it sounds like, from your experience, even if you have a good police officer, are they being valued? Are they being heard? Are they being supported? Are they being treated well? Like, is their behavior being encouraged? These are a lot of things that are completely outside of your control, especially now, now that you're no longer a part of the PD. And so you have no reason to trust them, either as an institution or as individuals. And I know that that's a very frustrating position to be in because it oftentimes feels like, well, there's really nothing that we can do about it. It is the way it is. But the reality is that people are just often too tame in asking for radical change. The average person like you will not participate in local politics or demand better of their PD because it's, I've spoken to enough criminals to know that it's like, we'll just get them back on the streets, right? But ultimately, that doesn't change anything, and it's not going to prevent experiences like yours from happening again in the future.
I mean, it just feels like a losing battle, Like, you could go I suppose you could go the impeachment route, but when is that actually ever panned out for anybody?
Yeah. I think the problem is that it's not even really a battle unless someone steps up to the plate.
So what you're saying is that I should burn down the PDs again.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I think
that's what I'm saying.
I think that will have probably opposite effects of what you're asking for.
Possibly.
It gives them an excuse to dehumanize you.
That's kind of, I was talking to my lawyer about all this. And it's kind of what I felt like in that situation.
Yeah.
It feels like they obviously, they knew I was in there. They called for me to leave, right? But at the same time, like when I was talking to Jimbo was saying
I'm gonna pass out. I don't
that,
get food.
they had called for me to be released a few times or something.
Okay,
I don't think that's true.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but do you have food? Otherwise, I will pass out on you.
Oh, I don't. I'm so sorry.
Well, get ready for a disaster. I'm going to see if anybody is available to deliver food.
Okay.
Actually, I might just run downstairs really quick and go grab something.
Sure, of course.
If I'm not back in 2 minutes, I've died.
Okay.
On the stairs or somewhere else.
Do you want me to come with you just in case?
Yeah, sure.
Just in case.
Yeah, I was actually going to run out and grab food earlier, but then you called and I was like, oh, it can wait.
Oh,
well,
I'm so sorry.
No, it's not your fault at all. I'm the one who said I was available. So slow.
Hopefully there's Do you have food stored here? Or?
So here's the thing is I'm not actually hired on by the state yet, which is why I'm doing private practice right now. So there is a refrigerator that usually has food in it, but you know, maybe not for me.
Do you guys have any food by chance? She's gonna starve.
Do you want to rescue a therapist from collapsing on her feet?
You know what? I have food, but I can't. Let me put it in a little brown paper bag for you.
Oh, thank you so
'Cause I'm
much.
having trouble handing it to you.
Okay, well, let's see if I can even pick it up. Oh, I can. You are a hero. Can I give you some money for this?
No, don't worry about it.
Are you sure? I would be happy to give you as much cash as I have, which is $120.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, thank you. What's your name?
Cooper, we met the other night. I'm
Oh,
EMS. I'm just going off duty.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, hi. Okay, we're gonna get back upstairs. I was just an urgent situation.
No, I totally understand. Gotta keep your therapists fed and watered. I get it.
Thank you, Cooper. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep. You all stay safe.
Hi. Thanks for the wait. That was so close. You have no idea.
Oh, I'm glad you're okay now.
I feel much better. He gave me some French fries.
I think we're in this room.
Yes, yes. Anyway, back locked in.
But you know, Jimbo said that like they had called for me to be released a few times, and I guess the people that were holding out the cell had said like, no, like this is what Jimbo was saying, that
Right.
like, no, she's with us, you know, and I asked them, I said, did that happen? And they said absolutely not. They said one time, and that's when you left, and then they charged in. But it kind of makes me feel like at that point they just assumed that like there was like a bias that I was committing a crime in that moment, you know, just
Right.
because I had committed crimes in the past,
Right.
and therefore like my safety didn't matter at that
So
point.
lumping you in
know?
with the raid, essentially? Or the
Yeah.
riot, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I literally had nothing to do with it. I didn't want to be there, you know? And I don't know. What do I do? Like, do I just ask cops now every time I get sent up? Is there a riot? Like I don't want to be angry and like frustrated as well. You know, I don't want to go into situations where I don't know, like I shoot cops or something, or I just assume like, well, I'm gonna get shot, so you know, I've never like, I mean, other than the time, you know, I did try to burn down those police departments. I've never really been a violent person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do.
I mean, there's a lot of different options here. If you just want to focus on how you're feeling and kind of checking in with yourself and getting through the frustration, like that's a whole thing. If you want to see change inside the PD, that's a mountain of a task. But ultimately, like the onus is not on you to make sure that there's not a riot happening in prison. Like it is not your responsibility. It is PD's responsibility to make sure that they are transporting prisoners safely to and from prison. Personally, I am a huge advocate for being a pain in the ass when it comes to governmental departments. Whether that is asking for an audience with, you know, the superior of the cop that sent you to prison, whether it's speaking to local elected officials, so the mayor, or, you know, somebody who you feel like is helpful in that situation, and making a stink about it, being annoying about it. Ultimately, you have to be prepared for them to treat you badly, because the one thing that cops do not like is criminals coming in and complaining about cops and the way that they treat them. But ultimately, regardless what you choose to do with your life, you deserve to be treated well and to be safe, especially when you're in the hands of the government. So if you want to see change, if you want to enact change, like that's a whole different task. I think you just have to look inward and say, what am I okay with? Am I okay with just checking in with myself and moving forward from the situation? Or do I need more than that? Because if you need more than that, then you have to look at what is feasibly within your control to do that will actually make a difference.
I don't know the answer to that question yet, but I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna mull that one over for a while.
I think take as much time as you need. Obviously, if the situation is still pretty fresh, you're going to be feeling a lot of like recency bias emotions. Like you're always the most likely to be a little bit more irrational, a little bit more frustrated, a little bit more angry, a little bit more retaliatory, the closer you are to whatever the event was, right? But as you get farther away from that, like space, time offers clarity. So really every day, check in with yourself and say, how am I feeling about this today? Do I need to do something about this to feel better? Or is this just a time heals all wounds kind of thing? And I think it is good to stay alert and aware of not just your own experiences with PD, but your friends and family, anybody who has regular encounters with them, and to keep note of those things. Will say it till I'm blue in the face. I love lists. Write these things down. Like, I know that nobody likes to be a nitpicker, but if you do ever go to the police and want to present them with the situation and negligence on the part of police officers, you have to track these things. You have to take names, get badge
totally
numbers,
right.
and write things down.
You're
'Cause-
right about that.
Yeah. They'll ask you for receipts, and nothing's more badass than having them when they
Yeah.
think you won't.
Yeah. I think that you're 100% right there. It's a really good point. I appreciate you listening.
Of course.
I know it's your
yeah.
job, but I appreciate it regardless.
Well, I'm glad that you came in and talked to me about it.
Would I be able to come and talk to you about it again?
Absolutely. Yes, my door is always open. Just shoot me a text, give me a call. I'm a very on-demand kind of therapist. Like, if you need to just call and talk to me on the phone for 5 minutes because something's happening and you're like, I need to get this out of my head, you can absolutely do that. Whenever you see my number in the lemon list, it means I'm available and you can call or text me, okay?
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I think this did help just to kind of talk about it, you know, to somebody that's not biased in any way. I'm gonna think about this, and you know, maybe later this week, if you're around, you know, we can talk again. And
I'm
see how
happy
that's going.
I'm happy to help you, however I can. I want to make sure that you have the support that you need, especially when you're kind of still processing everything that happened. So
Yeah.
if you need anything, just let me know. We'll check back in. We can talk about it again later this week, and you know, go from there.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm glad you got some food.
Oh, me too. It was going to be bad.
Do you get have you had like a decent amount of clients and stuff like that? Like
Fairly decent.
Do you stay busy?
Yeah, I do. It's really nice. It's just whenever you move somewhere new, especially as a therapist, the first thing you have to do is just kind of build up your name and then build up trust with people.
Yeah.
It's always those first couple weeks that are the hardest, but yeah, things have been going well for me.
good. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Be safe, all
I'm
right?
gonna run. Thank you so much. All right, you take care, please.
Yeah, bye, kid.
Oh, thank you so much.
Do I owe you money, by the way?
I don't make money from the States, so you can pay me if you want, but honestly...
Yes.
Oh. Okay, kit session 2 done.